In 1966, Nguyen Van Bay with his unit were assigned with a mission to convey arms and ammunition to the front. As they were approaching Mian, they were encircled by a convoy of 49 enemy armored vehicles. Following a fierce fighting with the enemy, Nguyen Van Bay was captured. Afterwards, Bay pretended to comply with the American soldiers. Then, suddenly, he seized a mine weighing 10 kilos and shouted, "Long live the National Liberation Front of South Vietnam, down with the American imperialists." As he said these words, he rushed like a thunderbolt at the nearest M18 tank and banged the mine against it. The explosion set off by the 10-kilo mine triggered a series of explosions, as the pile of mines captured by the enemy was ignited and went off. Through this act of heroism, Nguyen Van Bay sacrificed himself, but he had destroyed an M18 tank and heavily damaged 2 M13 tanks, killing and wounding 64 enemies, among them 12 Americans. Soon after his death, papers across South Vietnam showed Nguyen Van Bay was alive. How is that possible? The Viet Cong claimed he was dead. This is the story of the national martyr who came back from the dead. Nguyen Van Bay was never dead. FYI, for the rest of the video, I will call him Bay. He wasn't part of the Viet Cong. Bay was a soldier of South Vietnam. In truth, he never did such heroic acts. The Americans was the Viet Cong, and he was captured. Arguably a fate worse than death, making propaganda for the enemy team. Bay was thrown in prison shortly after. After a year of prison, on February 1967, Bay was liberated by the Americans, and what he had to say was extraordinary. During this time, North Vietnam was milking this story. Poems, songs, and films were made. Statues were erected on radio and newspapers. They couldn't escape the heroic acts of Nguyen Van Bay. Children are taught Bay sacrificed to be a role model. Among the bullets splattered from your battles, Nguyen Van Bay rose the great roar of your explosion, and the explosion that shattered those evil American night flying crows. We shall live like you. You know what's not retreat. And every battle shall be fought as you fought. Forever we shall follow your shining example. When Bay escaped that prison night, this would lead to a full-scale propaganda war, hilariously proving either Nguyen Van Bay has died or alive. South Vietnam debunked this claim with this: Bay holding a newspaper labeling him as dead. By July 1967, thus only 3 months after Bay rescued from prison, Speical has printed more than 30 million leaflets, 7 million cartoon leaflets, 465,000 posters, 150,000 copies of newspapers, 167,000 photographs, 10,000 song sheets, several motion pictures, and numerous radios and television programs depicting Bay, his family, and Hoi Chan friends. Imagine halfway the country thinking you're dead. Bay will be interviewed at JUSPAO radio studio, repeating the same message: I am alive. There's North Vietnam retaliated with this. This Nguyen Van Bay was fake. He was an imposter that had plastic surgery. Taking this experience into account, this time they pick out an intact, good-looking man. They also taught him what to say. They plotted to use time to blur the hero image so that they could easily dissolve the public. But 10 months have not lessened the noise of Nguyen Van Bay bomb, but it has resounded more. Another example is the propagandists of the puppet regime begin to sing in a whining female voice. It will appear that the enemy psych-warrior specialists have a surplus of American milk and flour, which they use to feed a number of call girls. When their mouths are itching to speak, they sing a few songs which are completely out of tune and with a voice full of narcotics, which might belong to a prostitute, and then they're wailing. Maudlin voice goes like this: Dear friends, the fellow Nguyễn Văn Bé you celebrate as a hero is still alive. He's never fought the American or anyone else. And following that, tons of leaflets bearing the picture of Nguyễn Văn Bé is still alive and being dropped daily. A friend of mine have handed me a letter. He had picked up, a faint smile over his lips. Finally, he said, "Oh, how I miss him. If only he was still alive among us." The North simply ignored this reality and celebrated his anniversary of his death. This lie could collapse the whole narrative, ruining the North's golden childhood of propaganda. Maybe the North was wrong. Maybe everything said was fake. Maybe I should join the South. Another psych-op operation was Americans touring Bay to his home village. That he was indeed alive. Unfortunately, they got the wrong village. His village was 2.5 miles away. Reportedly, the villagers never seen a map. Even if Bay landed in the right village, the surrounding landscape was held by the Viet Cong. These villagers were forced to believe the lie, even if they believed the Americans. On a footnote, the filming crew tragically Roach and Point went to a spiral hole and never be seen again. Shortly after the psych-op operation on Bay closed. Ultimately, this venture ended in a total disaster. Nobody believed the lies that the Americans told in the end. If people ever believed the truth, it would be quickly silenced. In the end, North Vietnam was able to silence the truth because of the big lie, coined by Adolf Hitler. Could have seen the impotence to distort the truth so infamously. People believed nobody could tell such a blatantly lie. Nguyễn Văn Bé sort took a backseat. Bay and his family was rescued to the south, and his family was on a death bounty. It states not to ask Bay family or risking getting counter-revolutionary ideas that Bay was indeed alive. Nguyễn Văn Bé would peacefully live the rest of his life, passing away in 2002, a semi-celebrity, a massive embarrassment for the North Vietnamese government, and one of the many faux heroes. This isn't just an odd occurrence. China made the story of Li Fang, a fictional role model to Mao Zedong, and the miraculous jet fighter of Cole Nguyen too. He managed to stop dozens of planes in a day. This is just another tool of the propaganda commonly used. Propaganda shows society fears of the era, what people believe and were against. People use heroes as inspiration but weaponize it against their enemies. Shortly after the Vietnam War, I met a lot of Vietnamese who say this is just propaganda, just a relic of the past, but it's not. It's part of our culture, our identity, our history. Nguyễn Văn Bé story was quietly silenced after the war. Ironically, there are still streets and signs named after his honor. Now, hardly anyone remembers him, despite being plastered everywhere as a national hero. Do any of you still remember this? Anyone older in the crowd? And special thanks to psywarrior for allowing this video to exist. All the video information are from his article. Besides this article, there's 3 other articles which is superficial on the subject. This is crazy obscure. And yeah, thank you for watching this video.